Okay, Art, can you hear me now? And okay, everybody says I'm back. Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button just now on the console here. So let me back up a little bit. The task in the context is tune and optimize the on-config, tune and optimize the database, and you can add indexes, drop indexes, you can tune and optimize update stats, you can tune and optimize the lock mode of tables in the database, and also to tune and optimize the benchmark run.sql, which is the batch script that we'll be using. It's going to be a little bit confusing because there are two parts to this, and this is what's going to make this contest, I think, more fun and more challenging. What you cannot do is change data. You can't change rows. You can't. It runs a lot faster with no rows in the database, but you can't do that. You can't change logging mode. This has to be a logged database. Can't use raw tables because we want to have an environment that's much like a production system. And then the final thing is each participant's configuration must be saved and must be reproducible. If it runs great once and then we can't reproduce it, that's not going to count. We have to be able to reproduce it over and over again. So specifically, things that cannot be changed. The logging of the database or any tables. You can't change columns or data types of any of the tables. The SQL code for the OLTP benchmark. That's actually written in Java, so you won't be able to change it. But you can change the benchmark run batch SQL. And I'm actually kind of excited. One of the other gentlemen who's on the webcast here is Eric, who did a phenomenal job when we did this originally in optimizing the run benchmark run SQL, and hope to see him do it again. You cannot change the table layout on disk. The SSD drive is limited in size, so we're just going to say no creating more DB spaces. Don't move things around. So we want to stick with the DB spaces we have and where the tables are in their layout. So what you can and need to focus on is tuning the on-config, tuning indexes, tuning lock mode, tuning update stats, and tuning the benchmark run SQL. And the only caveat there is you can change it, but the results have to match the bill amount and the bill counts. And I'm building a table. What we do is we run the batch job in a loop, and we run it as many times as you can. I've been testing it and working with it, and I actually had it running about one loop every 10 seconds. And so we've built a table of results for how many loops you run. And so the results you have to match the dollar amount and the bill amount for that. So if you run 50 loops, the dollar amount and bill amount have to match what our table is of expected results there. So let me show you how this is going to work. And I'm going to get out of slides. So this is going to be a little bit tricky for a few minutes here. And first thing, I'm going to start up the Java benchmark. This is an open source benchmark called Benchmark SQL. And you can download it from the web, and we'll give it to you to try out. The first thing you need to do in running it is go in and set up the number of terminals, which is really the number of users. And I'm going to put in 1,000. And then the number of warehouses, which has to be 100. And then how long are you going to run it? When we run the final thing, we're going to run it for 10 minutes. And then you're ready to go. And you go to Controls, and you hit Create Terminals. And that goes out, and it's going to create 1,000 connections to the database. So let's just go out here and take a look. So I've got 151, now I've got 183. It takes a few minutes to get ramped up here and get all these connections going. And I should say I'm not running with the baseline. I'm running with a slightly tuned. I made about 3 or 4 changes so that it shows you what you can do with a minimum amount of tuning. I'll show you at the end of this call what it runs with no tuning at all, and it's really slow when you do that. It's pretty slow down. So I'm ramping up. I'm at 619 users. And now I'm at 1,020 users, and if I flip back to the Java program, it says 1,000 terminals created successfully. So at this point, we're going to start transactions. And while those transactions are running, I'm going to flip over to my other window, and I'm going to run. And we'll time this better when we actually do it, the batch job. And so you've got the batch job going, and it's running loops. And it will sit there and run loops for 10 minutes. We have a watchdog process in the batch program that after 10 minutes kills it. And as you can see, it's screaming there in the background with transactions per minute, and the batch job is on the first loop. And I'll give it a minute or two here, and it will go on a second loop, and so on. Now, just to give you a goal here, last year at the contest, Andrew had almost 60,000 transactions per minute. So that's about quite a bit faster than the 7,000 transactions per minute I have going here. What we do is look at the running average. And take that at the end of the run, what the running average was. So it's done the first insert. There's one insert, and this is the first set of bills, and then there are 3 or 4 updates. So we'll run this for 10 minutes, and then after 10 minutes, it will stop, and we'll take the total number of bills and the total number of transactions per minute, and that sort of gives us a score. We'll actually do a number of, and because timing is going to be a little bit off here, we've decided the more fair way to do it is to take the number of transactions per minute plus the number of bills generated per minute. So we'll take, because it may run for 11 minutes or it may run for 10 minutes, we'll take the number of bills inserted and divide that by the number of minutes it ran to get a number of bills inserted per minute. And that will be the scoring of that. So while it's running here, let me flip back to my slides and just go over a few more things. So our goal was to have registration and the code all ready to download today. It's actually going to be tomorrow before we get the download part working, and I'll explain why in just a minute. We're kicking it off with this webcast. Starting about July 18th, we'll take your code and on-config entries back. And one of the things we've decided to do is we're going to allow people 3 runs. So July 18th, you could send us some code and data and we'll run it. And then we'll send you back the results and then you can try again. And and you can try up to 3 times. July 29th is the last time we'll take entries, so you have to submit everything by then. And and then we'll close the contest July 31st, and our goal is to announce the winners August 20th. We may actually, depending on how many people we have entered, because as you can see, it takes about 20 to 30 minutes to run each contestant, and somebody's got to be sitting here doing it. So we can only run about 16 a day. It may take a few days to run and complete the whole contest to see all the winners. So the plan is August 20th we'll announce the winners and we'll have a webcast. Now, the downloads. There are 3. And the first one is what I'm calling the big database. This is the actual database we're using. It's quite a bit bigger than the database we used last year at the conference. It's 8.3 gigs. One of the reasons the download is not ready today is I started to upload the big database this morning, and it told me it was going to take 5 hours to upload it. So it may take you a bit of time to upload it, to download it. Because of that, we're also going to make available a small database that's about 2 gigs. And they both have the same structure, same schema. The small database is optimized or designed with for 100 users instead of 1,000 users. So it's just got a smaller number of warehouses in the warehouse part. And then we'll have the code, and I'll show you the code in just a minute. And so these will be available to download hopefully tomorrow. Registration is very simple. We have, and one of the reasons we're going to do it this way, Tom Beatty has put together a website called fastestdba.com, or we'll have a link later today from our website where you can go register. But it looks something like this. As you can see, it's hard to do a webcast on the same machine as I'm doing the benchmark. It's slowing things down a bit. So the idea is once you've registered, all you need to do is use your email to log in. And we'll have links here once you've registered to download the code and also to upload your code. And there'll be 3 links, so you have 3 chances to upload code over the course of the contest. Now, I'm just going to show you, if you haven't signed up, you'll get this little sign up menu where you can put in your name, your company, address. What we really need is your email, and then you get to select the password. Now, a couple of things we need is a shirt size. Every year we've given out shirts for the winners, small, medium, large, extra large. Whether you're a user, a consultant, or an IBM employee, your age, so we can tell which rating you go, when you begin working with Informix, the month of year, and are you in the U.S. or international. And once you fill this out, just hit register, and then you can log in to the contest and start using it. So let's see how these are doing. I'm still on the first run. I was going to have Art do a bit of tuning and run it this morning to start off, but then I said, that will make everybody worry about how fast it is. So the Java program has finished. It says there are errors. You'll always see errors. The errors all have to do with locking. If you look at the Informix errors, and the problem and what the errors cause is when you get a lock error, you lose a transaction. So every error that you get, and you will get errors, because this is 1,000 users trying to update maybe some of the same records. So you'll get errors, and when you get these concurrency errors, you lose transactions, and you lose what may have been a faster average transaction rate. So one of the goals here is to get as few errors as possible, because you'll have a higher transactions per minute when you have a few errors as possible. Now what we're going to do between each contest, and I'm going to just run that part right now. I did one run, and it got 1,000 rows inserted, and then it terminated. And we actually have a new way of doing the kill, so I don't need to do this, but I haven't put it on this machine yet. Okay. So that's basically what we do. Between each run, I want to show you this. So after a run is done, we will save what's in the directory here, and then we have a script called new benchmark, which that will basically start everything all over again. It kills Informix if it was running. Probably still running, doing a rollback. Okay, let's so after each benchmark, and this takes about 10 minutes, we kill everything, do a restore, and this is restoring the DB spaces, and it recreates the benchmark environment so that we're ready to go. And then it recopies the files and sets it up. Now, while it's restoring, let me go back to the slides, and I'm going to open it up for questions. And what I'm going to do is unmute everybody so that if there's a lot of static, I'm going to have to mute folks and unmute people one by one. Okay. So, question. About, maybe we'll start with Andrew. You're on. Andrew, what do you think of this?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think it's great. I think I like the fact that you can get multiple chances at it. And
well,
I like the fact that it's a mixed workload, OLTP and like a billing batch process.
Well, good. Well, we're going to be excited to see what you can do with this. Anybody else have questions? Does it all seem pretty straightforward then?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Well, like I said, tomorrow, go ahead and register. It's fastestdba.com, and tomorrow I'll upload the code tonight, and we'll have it available tomorrow to download, and you're ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody said you want to see Art's test results. We may show that at the end there, because one of the things I do is Art and Tom and Mike and I all have been sitting here testing this thing, trying to break it, and we've come up with some interesting. just a couple of things before we end, if there are no more questions. We do our advanced performance tuning course coming up next week, and as of today, we only have one space left in it. If anybody's interested, we are going to be working on this contest. It's a good way to get a heads up, and I think it's kind of fun thing because we use this in the course. I sort of expect everybody who goes through the course next week to attend. With that, I want to thank you, and drop me an email if you have any questions, and we'll see everybody in the contest. Thank you all, and have a good day.
All right, thanks, listener.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.